My name is Pip, and I'm graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Adult Education. I'm from the UK originally, as you can probably hear, and we moved our young family across the Atlantic to BC in 2004. We sought a 2-year adventure in a new culture, but it's hard not to love BC. That was 17 years ago, and we're now proud Canadian citizens. After several years of not working, my skills were out of date. I took some courses and then discovered the mostly online adult education program at UFE. I remember feeling excited that I might finally be able to achieve a degree, a dream that had been submerged by the realities of family life. I discussed it with my family as the impact would be greatest on them, and I asked my 14-year-old son what he thought about me going back to school. His response, "Mum, I think you should totally go for it." So I did. And when I got accepted, I felt a mixture of trepidation and excitement. My journey as a student has had its challenges. For an evening class, I left everything organized at home and was on the road before 3 p.m. My goal was to get off the North Shore and down Highway 1 to beat the heaviest traffic. Starbucks at McCallum Junction became my rush hour refuge. There were stressful moments too. At times, I questioned why I was putting myself through this at my stage of life. Those feelings were short-lived though, and usually coincided with a major assignment being due or competing family commitments. My friends looked on incredulously, but saw I was determined to succeed, and I was enjoying myself immensely. There were times when I sat in a class or participated in an online discussion and wondered when everyone was going to realize that I knew nothing and really shouldn't be here. Yes, imposter syndrome is real. But my confidence grew quickly. My instructors inspired me. I realized that while my brain might not be as sharp as a 20-year-old's, life and work experiences count. I could see clearly the relevance of my learning and how I might apply it in the real world. Sharing those experiences in the adult education learning community allowed me to contribute to other students' learning. Technology has always been a passion and influenced my choice of career as an IT instructor. The most enjoyable courses involved discovering new educational technologies. My technical skills proved to be invaluable for course assignments and online work. I could contribute useful skills in group projects and enjoyed sharing my knowledge with my peers. I learned new skills such as managing my study load to avoid the panic of working too close to deadlines. And I learned not to feel intimidated by younger students, even when I took an in-person communications class where every student was a similar age to my own children. I was grateful to the instructor for making me feel welcome in a different faculty. I became part of an inclusive and supportive learning community. I have formed lasting friendships that will go way beyond my time at UFE. Today, we all work and study from home. My decision to enroll in the adult education degree program was largely because it was offered online. The pandemic actually just made it easier. Studying online has allowed me to juggle my role as a student with my other life roles and be flexible about how and when I learned. My kids have all had to adapt to online learning during the last year. I was able to share my online experiences with my son as he navigated his first year of university online, entirely at home. He's probably forgotten my advice already, but that's good because it means that online instruction has become normal. The faculty and staff in the adult education department are dedicated. The instructors made learning interesting and enriching. They fed my curiosity. Learning is not a one-stop journey. If it were, I would have missed the bus long ago. It's a hop-on, hop-off affair, as we call the London tourist buses. You can jump on when you feel the need or desire to learn a skill or acquire knowledge. You can jump off to catch your breath and then jump back on later, no matter your age or current role in life. Learning is for life, and lifelong learning is for everyone. The flexibility of the program I've been part of is testament to that. While we may have been motivated by the end prize of a degree, yay, the process of getting there is the education. Perhaps you're like me, your perspective may have shifted as your mind opened up to new ideas and perspectives in the world around us. I have learned about local and global educational issues. I learned about the impact of colonialism, the challenges and inequalities in access to education around the world, and the critical significance of digital literacy. I can now call myself an adult educator, and the future is wide open. I'm sure you feel the same. Exciting options are emerging, and we haven't even explored all the possibilities yet. The horizon has expanded. I continue to feel pulled towards making the world of information technology comprehensible to everyone, no matter their age, background, or skill level. But my practice will not be confined to classroom instruction. Thank you, UFE, for making this degree program possible for a mature immigrant student. Thank you, Faculty of Professional Studies, specifically the Department of AdEd, for giving me the opportunity to continue my learning journey and realize a long-buried dream. There are too many faculty members to mention, but I hope they know who they are and the positive impact they have had on me. Like you, my gratitude also goes out to my family and friends for encouraging and supporting me during the last 4 years. I know it was challenging at times, but we got there in the end. To my fellow grads, hold on tight to your dreams. Don't be deterred by the noise that is life. Focus on the end goal, but don't forget to enjoy the journey and make it work for you. It is our satisfaction of feeling of achievement that are the greatest prizes. Maybe you're like me, astounded I've pulled it off. My friends and family are strangely unsurprised. I just haven't told them about my plan to do a master's yet. That's a conversation for another day. Right now, celebrate your achievement. Good luck as you embark on the next phase of your life.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm graduating from the Sociology program at UFE, and I'm honored to represent my fellow graduates of 2020 and 2021. When I think back to the time I first got to UFE, I actually had no idea what I wanted to do with myself. I was way under the impression that university was this place where you're left by yourself with no one else to figure out what you want to do with your life. I mean, I've been told many times by my high school teachers that once I get to university, that my professors won't care about me and that my classmates are always just there for themselves. So it was a nerve-wracking experience to go into this new environment where I felt out of place with no idea what I'm doing and with no one else to turn to for support. And the funny thing was, it wasn't just me. No, a lot of other first-year students felt the same way, but I never actually noticed this until later on, because initially, whenever I would look at my classmates or hear the conversations they would have before class, everyone always seemed so put together. It was like they knew exactly what they were doing and they had it all figured out. And for me, I just fell behind. I felt like if this was the race, I was in last place because I didn't know what to do with myself or who I could turn to for support. But the reality was that this was the case for a large majority of first-year students. It was just that many of us didn't realize it back then. We were all fixated on the idea of figuring out what we want to do, that we didn't realize that these private issues were common between all of us. Registering for courses, trying to find parking, and walking our hallways brought a sense of familiarity with UFE. But this wasn't a linear process. No, instead it was more iterative, because there were moments where you felt like you were making progress in your life, and other moments where you felt like you were taking 10 steps back. I mean, a breaking point for myself was during my second year, where classes started becoming more demanding and challenging. I actually started falling behind in class, and I didn't really understand anything that was being taught. On top of this, my classmates always seemed like they understood everything totally fine. So it made things a lot tougher. I felt like I wasn't really good enough, which I'm sure many other of you felt at some given point in your time at UFE. And in my case, what I ended up having to do was reach out to my professor for help. But I was a bit skeptical about this because my own ideas about profs and university weren't really pleasant. But when I did show up to my professor's office, I was really surprised by my visit because I thought I was going to get brushed off. But no, instead, my prof actually sat me down, asked me what was wrong, and worked with me to address it. And when I left, I realized that my own ideas about professors were wrong. And it was at this point where I started realizing that university isn't a free-for-all place where it's everyone for themselves. No, actually, people actually care about one another here. And once I realized this, UFE started becoming more of a home to me. Looking back to where I started as a first-year student to where I am now, I believe the greatest change I experienced during my undergraduate years is my outlook on life. No longer do I see university as some sort of isolated space where it's everyone for themselves. In fact, I realized that we're all in this together. If anything, I believe our UFE experiences has taught us that we're more similar than we are different. I mean, we may all have different career goals and experiences, but we also did the same in that we were one students who felt stressed about our courses, happy once we finished them, and excited about the future that lies before us. And even though there's a lot of tension because of the pandemic, in that we're all experiencing some strain in our relationships, stressed about the job market and our futures, but understand that sometimes the most devastating events in life can also teach us the most important lessons in our lives. I encourage every one of you to take a moment and appreciate your family, friends, and your professors who have helped support you to get you where you are now. And look at those around you and focus on the aspects that bring us together rather than those aspects that drive us apart. Because moving forward, we're going to need each other a lot more in order to create a more peaceful and bright future.
When I started at UFE, I knew exactly what I had come here to do because I had spent 2 years previously trying to figure that out. I knew I'd be majoring in theater and that I'd apply for the teacher education program. However, I had my reservations about other aspects of life at UFE. I remember a week before classes started, I was so worried that I would not feel connected to the community, but that's the farthest thing from what actually happened. I did not expect the positive relationships I built with my peers, with my professors, and the respect I gained for them seeing the work they put in. I didn't expect to become so attached to the community that was fostered in the theater department. We were almost like a family with all its mayhem, its fun, its dysfunction, and its forgiveness. I didn't think I'd learn so much, not just pertaining to my degree, but also about humanity and communication. I remember my first day on the Abbotsford campus. I truly had no idea where I was going because I couldn't make sense of the map. I had butterflies in my stomach just thinking about walking into a class full of strangers. Looking back, I can remember almost every classroom I ever had a class in. It's funny. Something that seems so nerve-wracking and new can so easily become familiar. I think we should hold on to that idea going forward, that everything new to us that may scare us or worry us will eventually be remembered as something comforting and familiar. That goes for the new people we meet, places we go, and challenges we face going forward. I fell quickly into a pattern at UFE. For the first time in my life, I found friends who liked what I liked and wanted to talk about those things. I would get to school early to get a morning tea and just chat with everyone. I joined workshops when I could and found myself very invested in the livelihood of our department. I had favorite professors that changed my course of study. I would pick courses simply because they were teaching them. I always said that both Dr. Claire Carolan and Adriana Bacchus could make seemingly boring classes the most interesting, engaging, and challenging courses. I never thought I would like history. I never thought I would like working backstage in a show. Now those are two of my favorite things because I had professors who cared and worked to make every lesson count. But within the midst of all the joy and ease, there were challenges, both personal and academic. I have to address the elephant of challenges in the room, what Dr. Bonnie Henry calls unprecedented times. The pandemic hit. We all struggled through the messy switch to online learning and feeling like we were no longer getting the experiences we deserved. We dealt with a lack of social engagement and all the harmful effects that can have on us. We lived alone or with friends or family or with a significant other, and now understand the challenges that those situations can present. We experienced the heartache of missing our grandparents, our parents, our siblings, our extended families. We did this while facing our own personal hardships. Some did this while fighting the systems that are stacked against them. We, you, me, us graduates, we did this all while finishing our degrees. I cannot and do not wish to compare our struggles. They are all unique and valid. I do want to give everyone recognition for being able to face all of these challenges at once and still being able to achieve our goals. Personally, I have come out the other side feeling more appreciative, more understanding, and more capable. I believe we have come through this pandemic better able to navigate our emotions, the tasks in front of us, the various experiences that come with life. We've learned not only what was necessary for our degrees, hopefully, but other lessons. Lessons that will equip us for our journey ahead. I hoped I would not be the same person when I finished my degree as when I began. Not because I was a bad person or anything, but because I wanted to learn as much as I could. I knew that would involve change. I've learned so much about how to communicate effectively and pick my battles. I've gained knowledge about history and understanding about past, present, and continuing injustices. I've learned how to discuss effectively and de-escalate heated debates. And I have learned how much I truly do not know. I believe that is the most important thing that I have learned. I continue to learn about gaps in my knowledge, which leads me to the next thing that I need to research. We should all be calling ourselves out and searching for the gaps in our knowledge and our understanding. I urge my fellow graduates to think about what they do not know because it will lead them somewhere they do not expect. I feel I have been prepared by the lessons of my professors, the faculty of UFV Theater Department, and my peers to continue on my path. Due to my time and studies at UFV, I am ready for my next challenge. As I am sure my fellow graduates agree, it feels like it is time to move on. For me, that means beginning the professional development program in the Faculty of Education at Simon Fraser University in the fall. I want to bring what I've learned studying theater and history in my undergrad to become the most effective secondary school teacher that I can be. Our individual possibilities are endless. We must remember that our words and our emotions have an impact on those around us, those who see us in person or on social media, and that means we each have a platform, a place to speak from. I am fighting and learning for the platform that a teacher has so that I can use it to help educate our future and make it brighter. I want to have a powerful impact on my future students the way many of my professors have had a transformative impact on me. We must never forget that no matter what we do or where we go, we have the power to affect positive change in people's lives. Congratulations, grads. We did it.